Ready, ready?
Yes, we are ready. And welcome to another exciting edition of the Love Power Show. And we have Brother Jay Morrison on the phone. And we're going to go right to the telephone. Welcome to the show, Brother Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison.
Jay, are you there? Jay, are you there?
Sir, I'm here.
All right, Jay.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, anytime. Tell us a little bit about your program and a little bit of your bio. Real estate mogul, young man. Going to be in town next week. We're going to do a pre-recorded broadcast. Youth Leadership Conference, real estate, and the like. Break it down for us. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, King. I want to appreciate express my appreciation that you have me on the show.
Yes, sir.
I'm here with a group of students in New York. We're doing a boot camp today. Where everyone say hi to Memphis. I'm getting love all the way from Brooklyn, New York. I'm at Jay, with real estate board, real estate advisor. Some call me multiple, author, team personality, activist, everything in between. Like Robin Hood, I call myself. And my goal is to give the game that I've learned over the last 10 years, financial literacy and real estate expertise, get that game that I've stolen from the rich, made myself a little bit rich, take that game and give it back to the underserved, the poor, those in need. So we do this through a few ways. One is through our online real estate school, the Jay Morrison Academy. It's a real estate investor school. You will learn real estate investing, not licensing, not becoming a real, not working for investors, not getting commission, not being a crumb snatcher. So if you want to learn how to be a real estate investor, go to jaymorrisonacademy.com and join our online course. 8 days start. We also give back to our YMC Young Minds program. I'll be doing an actual lecture in Memphis on Thursday. Memphis, I'll be actually the 10th, but this is pre-recorded because we already passed that date. But I have previously spoken by the time you hear this thing that's on the 10th. Through my Black Print, 3 steps to financial education for the Black community, financial freedom. Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Jay,
Okay, so pre-record next week. It's on live, right?
Yeah, we're listening live, yes.
Okay, yeah. This week, March 10th, I'll be doing the Black Print, the financial freedom for the African American community in Memphis. So I can register for that at the blackprint.com. I look forward to lecturing to over 500 of our Memphis residents, brothers and sisters. And then I'll be doing another presentation on Friday, the 11th, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. I'll be putting that out on my Instagram at Mr. Jay Morrison. Then we're flying to Chattanooga on Saturday. I'm going to Bishop Adams in Chattanooga, a financial workshop. We're flying back to Memphis on March 13th for my Day with the Jay boot camp, which is 8 hours with me. You guys can learn how to be real estate investors hands-on. We do 2 property site visits and site evaluations. For business breakfast and networking breakfast. We also do a mastermind session with me. You can ask me all the questions you want. Learn real estate live. So I'm real estate online. I got real estate live. We also spend money for investors. We have hard and soft money, so we need financing. We do credit repair. Also, private property myself. All that is jmrepartners.com. So I'm active. I'm busy.
Yes. Yeah, we've actually been trying to get this pre-interview together almost a year now, and we want to thank my son for meeting you and the two of you communicating and finally having some words and get the introduction and getting this program started. So you said something about you have a program, my son tells me, on Lauderdale Street. Can you give us that name and location and time, address, I guess, again?
If you put the blueprint, the black print, yeah, I don't have that in front of me, the one on Lauderdale Street. I think it's the juvenile.
Okay. Well, right. What I'll do, I'll be in touch with Hakeem and Christopher for that information, and I'll get that information out.
So, I believe it's at 7 or 8 p.m. at the gym, and you guys can register at the black-print.com. It's going to be a great lecture. We're going to really break down how our community can build financial freedom. So I'm looking forward to doing my first lecture, my first time actually in this.
Okay, real quick. On Friday, there were some investors here, Caucasian. I told Christopher, talking about buying up the area in North Memphis, Klondike, if you will, the abandoned properties and houses, and I told Chris to prep you on it, and so we want to take a look at that to see if we can compete in that arena as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I look forward to, in my spare time down there, the touring of properties. I know you guys are working on building a black multi house down there.
All right.
We're lending some resources and expertise I can. But what you brothers, I heard you doing good work down there. I'm excited to be able to give back to Memphis. All those looking to come investors, just kind of peek at it. You don't feel comfortable and tell you can be done. We just gotta build our knowledge base up. I come from poverty myself. I'm in prison. I'm barely a high school graduate. I have no college education, but I'm really successful in this industry. And I'm excited to be able to give back the knowledge I was paid so others that no matter where we start from can be successful and through real estate. It's the easiest path to building wealth, home ownership.
Okay.
All my investments up there, make sure you go to daywithj.com. We're going to be trained on Sunday, March 13th in Memphis. 8 hours of training. It's really intense. It's not for the weak of heart. Go to daywithj.com. I look forward to working with you guys in Memphis.
All right. Jay Morrison, everybody, real estate mogul, young man. And I'll get the information to everybody so we can participate, support, or whatever. Hey, look, the number to call if you want to get on the show is 901-327-2500. And today, we're going to wrap up our series on not smart meters, water, what we were talking about. But we're going to transition to smart meters. We have someone who has been calling the show and mentioning smart meters, and we're going to transition to smart meters and go from there. Now, we're streaming live. Go to ustream1600am.com. And we're going to be talking about, Chet, solutions mostly today.
Right.
But we're going to be talking about also what can the people do right now in terms of what kind of water to drink. How do we save our lives today?
All right.
Short range goals. We're going to talk about short range goals and long range goals. Is that right?
Correct.
So I've got some water here. I've got some Dasani.
Turn around. Okay.
We've got some Niagara.
Right.
And we've got some Crystal Geyser. And I might say that Crystal, I see Crystal in Save-A-Lot. And apparently they're all over the place. I mean, it's packed with crystal water.
Right.
Now, we've got a guy here. I haven't heard of this guy. This is Sam's Choice. But I've seen Sam on some other stuff. But yesterday was my first time seeing Sam on water.
Right.
Now, these people here, I called. Got the voicemail.
Right.
Called Friday and Saturday. Got the voicemail. They're selling water in Flint, Michigan, and all over the place. And according to the voicemail, their water is safe to drink. Okay.
Filtered. A lot of your water are purified. A lot of your people that sell the water actually purify the water, actually send it through filters.
Okay.
Or you can actually get with Consumer Magazine and they actually rate them.
Okay.
One of the things the EPA is doing now, and I don't have a copy of that grant, but I'll make sure you get it. EPA has just granted, I think it was like $1.5 million to 3 universities to increase their study and their research on cost-effective filters. So we know filters exist that'll get the lead out and the fluoride, but what they're challenging them to is to make it cost-effective. So they've actually put money in there to continue to study for that.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a way that you can get, and you can read the Bibles, but there's a way you can get in touch with Consumer Magazine. Consumer Magazine, or you can actually contact EPA Water, and they'll tell you which water companies have subjected themselves to the test.
Okay.
All right, where they put it on there.
Okay, now, Dasani is bottled by Coca-Cola
Right.
and put out by Coca-Cola. Now, real quick, I did some unpacking
Right.
and some digging in the Memphis room. I love to dig. In 1870, 3 men, John F. Booth, this sort of contradicts what I thought was going on.
Right.
Thomas W. Brown, John Gunn, started the first water company. Hold on, caller, we're coming right to you. I was born in 1948. About 10 years old, that would have been 1958.
Right.
And we had a well and a pump. And I know at that time, in that area, we were not paying for water. So when my father came and got me, I came to the city. I think the city people were paying for water.
Right.
So this whole idea of paying for water started in about the mid-50s and early 60s. Is that right, Chad?
Well, I would like to think it probably started
Before then?
in the 40s, right?
Okay.
In the city of Memphis, because they were putting lead water lines in, and they had a utility company. So once the utility company, I don't know the records that passed that well, but once you had a utility company and you started collecting for utilities, I would think that they were paying for water back then.
In some areas.
Right, some areas, right.
So now we see that it has expanded,
Right.
and the capitalists have taken over. Caller, come on in. Who's calling?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go for it.
Well, Chicago.
Hey, Naima Latif, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Say hello to my good friend Naima Latif from Chicago. It's so good to hear your voice.
Glad to join you today.
Yes, and you guys went to Flint, Michigan. We're so happy to have you. And what did you see? And tell us about Chicago water.
Well, we quite a few people there, and we have been familiar with this, and it really comes down to private companies wanting to control drinkable water so that they can make people pay, as opposed to being a public service that is offered by the municipalities, cities. You know, you have private companies that want to charge people because they own the pipe, they lay the pipe, they feed the water and what's necessary to purify the water, then they want to charge residents who have their own drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is that before, when the water source was a pipe that the city had to pay to Detroit for its water cleaning, they didn't want to do that. So that's why they let people drink poison water. And allowing them to drink poison water for so long, now the travesty of justice,
Mm-hmm.
that it really comes down to a crime.
Yes.
Crime scene, there needs to be a charge, indictment, jail time, because you're purposely poisoning people, knowing that the water was not safe to drink, knowing that it had been polluted with the. It was a deliberate decision.
Uh-huh.
The city just didn't want to pay the money. You know, they had the money, they decided to be supervised and work.
Right.
I think the best way that the lesson to be learned from this is that no one is to allow an outside entity to control the substances of life, air and water, and always have your own. Absolutely never are in control of someone else besides your life matters. So this lesson, people should learn how to catch rainwater, how to provide it, and how to dig well. They need to learn how to grow food. They need to learn how to cleanse the soil of impurities. And while you heard our show the other day, when we had a member of the Water Reclamation Commissioner talk about the reason why our soil and our water is polluted.
Right.
This is what our science has to be about. We're not teaching how to restore the earth so that we can take care of us, and whatever we're learning is useless. And that's what our children should be learning in school, and that's what they should be learning in university. You should come home being able to share with the family how to make round that we live on, to do.
All right, thank you, Sister Naima Latif from Chicago, Illinois. Hey, tell us how to tune into your show.
And every morning they can tune in at www.blogtalkradio.com. Or they can call in and listen in by phone at 347-539-569. Press 1 when you're ready to speak. And we'll see your number light up on the switchboard. Again, that's 347-539-569. And that is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Every morning, Monday through Friday.
All right, thank you for your call. You pointed out some very important things. Check.
All right. Well, when we talk about what's some of our solutions, things that we need to do right now, one of the things I don't want to be remiss on is that we do have lead water lines. But one of the biggest problems in Memphis is our exposure to lead dust, contaminated either from the gasoline, old paint, things to that effect. So we have to be aware that there's other issues going on in our community. So when we talk about our resemblance to Flint, we talked about what happened when they most people don't know how we got the Hope 6 grant at Lemoyne Gardens, Mar Terrace. Those grants were given because it was a contest, and they tested the children during that time. And that was one of the things that they put in the plan was how did the test come out? Memphis showed that we had a lot of lead exposure in our children. It was from the lead, dust, the water, and the cumulative things. So what we have now is we have body burdens. So we need to be aware of not just the water, but also of the dust. I was in class this week. EPA is going to be here in April. And I'm hoping that we'll have a good crowd. We're going to actually have a town hall meeting. We're going to be meeting in Light, Gas, and Water. They informed me that we're going to have a meeting with TDAC. TDAC wants to meet with me. That's the Tennessee Department of Environmental and Conservation. So there's some things that we're hoping is going to be implemented. We put in for a grant. Now, I don't know if we won it or if we got it. But whether we get the grant or not, we're going to continue with our movement, which is to try to create jobs, to start to address our issues. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about things that are being allowed to go on in our community, commercial buildings, for instance, you can go and scrape paint off a commercial building, and there's no policy. But if I go to a residential house and take a window out, I could be fined. Okay, and those are the things that we've got to say to our city. That's what we're in the process of doing, is that we've got to implement rules that are safe for us. When you go to a doctor, he doesn't give out one prescription that fits everybody. We got a different prescription that we need for our city. And that's what I was explaining this weekend. And I was also fortunate this weekend in class, we went to Spelman College. And they had an environmental, it was an environmental hoopla. They brought in some of the top environmental people in the country. People who used to teach at Spelman College. The people that were there, I don't know if you ever heard of Cancer Alley, places like that. So this was an all-day thing that our class had to attend. And it was so educational. And I got a chance to meet people who made big changes, who understand what's happening to us when we talk about environmental issues. So the key issue that people got to understand about lead causes brain damage. And the damage that it causes is not visible. Okay, and a lot of the tests, if you don't test lead at the right time, then you won't catch it. You won't know that it happened to you. So water is not only problem, but water is one of the ones that we have to address.
Right, and we'll get to those other issues as we go.
Right.
Now listen, the number to call is 901-327-2500. And here with us today, Omar Baruti, April, Chet Kibble, Lonnie Simmons, Talut El-Amin, Jeffrey Steele, Shay Renee. And I am your moderator, Wallace Ray. Now, we're streaming live on Ustream, 1600 AM, WMQM, the Love Power Show. And we've got some Love Power products, Love Power t-shirts. We've got some Love Power air freshener and cleaner with enzymes. I want to say a few things about some friends of mine at the Cleveland Street Flea Market. Cold water, $12 haircut. Good haircut. And while you're there, go see my friend Shirley. For all of your sewing needs, you want to get outfit, maybe go see my friend Shirley. Need a button? Pants too short, too long? See my friend. And while you are there, stop by and see Miss Lois Lomax. African dresses, jewelry. So, Cleveland Street Flea Market. Now, we've got an upcoming youth leadership conference coming soon. You see those signs that say coming soon? Coming soon. We've got a caller on the line, and then I want to talk about what Naima said. Let's not keep him him or her waiting too long. Oblige yourself, caller. Go for it.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Wallace Fred? How you doing? And to all your guests in there, and especially to the sister from Chicago.
Yes.
What you were saying, educate yourself and provide, like, you can learn the earth, learn about water. It costs money. I'm going to give you a good example of something because, Mitt Romney said something about Donald Trump, call him a fraud, call him a con man. Would you trust these people water? No, I wouldn't trust nothing because they're telling off on each other. Guess who is the youngest Republican? And he has a lot of power, and he's overfunded, and he's out of Wisconsin, Janesville, Wisconsin, where the Ku Klux Klan resided in Janesville, Wisconsin. I had a college friend that works in Wisconsin. This is what I'm saying, Dad, is all right.
Yeah.
All the Democrats, I'll give you Joe Biden, he's an old man. Hillary is an old lady. President Obama and Al Sharpton are young. That's why 98% of us supported them. They should be telling all the black problems in the black community, and they still asking, like Brother Talut said, what's wrong with black America? If 98% of black people vote for a young man like President Obama, and we admire Reverend Al Sharpton, they know our problem. This is what I'm saying. Donald Trump looked like he about to go in a nursing home. Mitt Romney, he lost. But guess who was on that ticket, and they thought they were going to defeat a young Democrat named President Obama? His name is Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
This guy is over the money. He's the Speaker of the House. This is what I'm saying. But the Democrats, like with the guy last week was talking about Dr. Harris, this problem, the only man talk about generation knowledge is Brother Yahweh. This is what I'm saying, that these people planning for things in 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. This is why I said that if they don't attack environmental racism, they can put lead, get the lead out of the pipe.
Take 30 seconds.
Yeah, they need to get the
Take 30 seconds and wrap it up, my friend.
Let me say this. Paul Ryan said that black folks are lazy and the earth is because of generational curses.
All right.
Remember that?
Yes. I know Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House.
Yeah, Speaker of the House, he took all the money.
Took over from John Boehner. Okay, let's put a wrap to that part of it, Alan.
All right.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
All right, now, Omar, you have anything? Disclaimer?
Yes.
I'd like to thank everybody for listening in. I still want to remind you that this show, the Love Power Show, is really for the young people in the house. And if they're not at the radio, please invite them to come to listen to the radio. Some of the things we say on here may be controversial. Some even may offend you. And if you find them offensive, just turn the radio down a little bit. But the views and opinions expressed on this station are not necessarily the views and opinions of this station or of its advertisers. And having said that, I'd like to say that this radio station, this show is in part sponsored by the law office of the Shawn Peoples. If you need some effective counsel in court or whatever the matter may be, please call the Shawn Peoples. His number is 605-3887. That's 605-3887. So with that being said, I think that we need to take a different approach to how we're handling water, smart meters, and these other issues that affect the community. We need to have a grassroots campaign to send letters to our representatives in the city council, inform them of what we want to have done, and then inform them if they don't get it done, then we will take them out of office the next time we get a chance to pull the lever. We're going to pull them and eject them out of office. We need to have a grassroots campaign. I vote all the time on issues that go to President Obama. I vote all the time on the internet. And I get responses back from different groups. And then they tell me that based on your vote, we're able to get the House, the Congress, whatever, to take this issue off the agenda. We need to have that same thing in Memphis. We need to get them out of because they represent us. We can't speak, but they are our speakers, and if they don't speak what we want them to say, then we need to get rid of it.
And so we can set this, you were telling me that these petitions can be set up and carried out online, is that right?
Yeah, what I would like to see is for Chet to go ahead and put a website together where we can go online, read the issue, and vote, and put a petition so we can give that petition to the city council representatives so they'll know that When we say we're gonna do this, we're actually going to do it, and we're gonna put this information, like what Dr. Luke was talking about, with the CCT, Congressional Committee of Tennessee. We're gonna put the information out there so people know you voted against the people. You didn't vote for the people. You didn't vote with, if you voted against them, the corporation. And we're gonna get rid of you because you're not representing us.
Okay, I hear you saying, stop talking and start walking. There's nothing wrong with talking, but talking and walking.
Yes, let's do it.
Now, Naima pointed out some things, Omar, about education and our children relative to the earth. She also pointed out individuals capitalizing on industries that farm that were free, as we've said, and greed and not taking care of the water turning brown, being muddy, and all of that. So she touched on quite a few relevant issues, which is the same thing she does on her show. And Alan backed up, or spoke to some of that. Go ahead, Omar.
This is a capitalistic society, and they really don't give a damn about you. To be honest. All they care about is money. If they can find a way they've already poisoned the air.
Oh, man.
They've already poisoned the water. They've already contaminated the food chain. They want you to buy what they want you to buy at the price they want to sell it to you for. We got to stop the madness, but it starts in Congress. They have GMO food that you can't even tell is GMO. That's Congress. Tell water's contaminated, they make you drink it. So that could have solved this problem before it had the problem. But they chose to be negligent. That's government. The water we got in Memphis, that's the government making that decision. Even the smart meters, that's the government. There are some cities in California that have outlawed smart meters. What we should do is tell the city council, we don't want to discuss the smart meter for the next 20 years. Don't even bring it to the agenda.
Okay. Right, and then these smart meters, according to what I've looked into, are giving out raise. And it's a health concern, a privacy.
Even if they weren't giving out raise, we don't want to talk about it. We just want to get it off the agenda and don't bring it up for 20 years.
Well, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's what I've looked into so far.
Right.
And what he said was, the bills are not lower. The bills, your utility bills, are higher, according to a couple of sites that I looked at.
But go a little further. Go a little further. Smart meters
further.
are made in China, so those are jobs that are not here. Then the people that are reading the meter, those jobs will be eliminated. And then you got to worry about the health consequences. All those are negative. We don't need any more negatives than them. We got enough with what we already got.
Okay, look, we've got to move fast. Okay, Carl hung up. Did he hang up?
He hung up.
Okay, April, you have a comment?
He said everything.
He said everything you say. Chet, let me, Lonnie.
I just want to ask a question to the brother Chet.
Yes, sir.
Just regarding, these different corporations, because like you said, we know it's all about money. We got corporations that have the chemicals, and they have to dispose of the waste, right? And it's a possibility how they dispose of the waste, it can still contaminate our water supply, right? So,
Well, it depends. We have aquifers, so our water is down deep, and they try to keep it wherever. Can't just anybody get a well. So if you're talking about what they can do to the surface that affects it, it can, but that's not as likely for us as it is for other people that drink surface water. Okay. But when you talk about waste, fluoride is a waste. And that's actually comes from manufacturing aluminum, and they scrape it off the walls, etc. And what we use in our city is not pharmaceutical grade, and I think we talked about that.
Yes.
So that is an example of a waste. And before they was able to put it in the water, they had to pay to get rid of it. So one of the scientists from EPA said it may be time for him to retire because you don't know when you're getting senile, but evidently he must be getting senile because you got something that's a poison if I release it in the air. If I put it in the ocean, or if I put it in the dirt, it's poison. But if I put it in the water, it's okay. So that came from EPA, one of their scientists. And this isn't make believe. So there's some real issues with that. We're going. Omar had a good idea, and that's part of what we got to do. We got to start our movement in our city, and that's what I let EPA and everybody know. We on step 6. We was on a 7-step process on the collaborative problem solving. They were encouraging us to complete that. We will be the first city to actually complete it. But step 7 means that you've done such a good job. Now you're telling other cities how to do that. And just like we just talked to the sister from Chicago, we're not the only city with lead water lines. We're not the only city with lead. But we're an old city. We have International Harvester. We have Firestone. We have a lot of things that was emitting lead into the air in our community. So we have a different problem than some cities. Okay, but it's a problem nonetheless. And we as a people can address it. And we are going to try to work on the website. We also gonna try to get with the phone calls. But they're supposed to be here in April, and I want them to know that it ain't just Chet Kibble or a few people from the collaborative. It's our community, and we want to see change, and we want to see jobs. I understand they're taking the water lines out of the plant. I've been trying to figure out who's taking them out. Okay, did they
Great
train
question.
the people? Did the people get trained? Is the company from within in the community? The top guy from EPA was at the meeting this weekend, and one of the things that he expressed, his name is Mustafa. Okay, he's got dreadlocks. I mean, he's really tight brother. He's number 2 man. He said the biggest thing he wants to see is that when you have these environmental hazards, that he can name lots of them. He don't want to see them bring other people in there to solve it. The people who live in there should be the ones to get trained and solve the problem. And he doesn't just want them to be workers. He wants them to be owning some companies. He emphasized this 3 separate times. He came and interrupted somebody else and said, look, let me just say it again. Please, we want people to own their companies. We want to create prosperity. So that's what we got to do here. We actually got to take the reins and talk about what we need.
Okay, a key word of what you just said. You said movement.
Right.
And in order to have a movement, the populace must be educated, organized to actually get on the move.
Right.
Something real quick. The aquifer, Talut, was already there. The thing that gives us the water. It was already there, according to what I found out. So speak to the movement, Talut, and whatever else you need to speak to. And we want to transition to talk also about smart meters, and we're already moving quickly toward that 3 o'clock hour.
Yes. I think, well, no, not that I think. What I know is we are in deep trouble. Deep trouble. See, when the roof of your house is on fire and the fire is in your kitchen also, do you leave the kitchen and go put the fire out on the roof? Or do you put the fire out in the kitchen and then put the fire out in the roof? Big question. Okay? Now, because we're in these various crises in the black community, we have homicides, we have water problems, we have family disruptions, we have economic problems, and now we have suicide problems, we have educational problems, and these problems are mounting every day. Okay, an example is in the city of Memphis, already in a couple of months, we've had 44 murders. In some societies, you get one murder, it's a crisis. It's a problem. It's a tremendous burden on the community. Not in Memphis. When hundreds of people are murdered, we don't get excited. Why? Because we're desensitized. So if you have a desensitized community, how is water going to alert them and arouse their interest to take charge and challenge the issue? Okay? How would a broken window pane be a problem for us? There's nothing a problem for us anymore. We've been desensitized, and society has broken us down and oppressed us so much so until we really don't know how to respond, or if we need to respond at all. See, we think the white man ain't gonna solve the problem. Okay, we really, look, let me emphasize that. We really believe in our hearts, in our minds, that the white man is going to come and correct the damn problem. But he is
That's not going to happen.
He is not going to correct the problem. It is not his responsibility. It's not his duty. The responsibility and duty to correct any problem in anybody's community, anywhere in the world, is the people.
Okay.
And we are the people. The black folks are the people.
Right.
And if we don't correct the problem, we're going to sink. Now, some of us think, and sum it up, some of us think that some power from somewhere up there is going to come down here and correct our problem. But the power up there did not create the problem. The power up there, so to speak, is perfect. It has nothing to do with correcting anything. It says be and it is. It is up there. Now, when we bring about the destruction on ourselves, we have to correct the problem. It's in our hands, it's in our minds. Then we ask God Almighty to help us.
Okay. Thank you, Talut. I want to go to Jeffrey, but I want to say something about what else I found. Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Is that right, Chick? Feeds into the water that Memphis uses as well. So that, according to what I found,
Yeah, right.
Memphis,
On our T's and West.
so and then they all tap into the Mississippi and come into Non-Conner Creek. And I've got to do more in terms of looking at it. But let me go to Jeffrey right quick, because this is a serious challenge that we've taken on in terms of this particular. Jeffrey.
All right, I got a lot on my mind. I'm gonna try to handle it the best I can, but just piggyback.
Let's say as much as we can, as quickly as we can.
Off of those cities that you just named, I remember, I think it was back in October, November when we went to St. Louis. I remember on my way to St. Louis, I got a phone call from a friend that was just talking on the phone, and she asked me, where are you headed? I said, I'm headed to St. Louis. She said, well, how far are you? I said, well, I'm a couple of miles out. She said, you'll smell it before you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally smelt that city before I got there. Not only that, I had made up my mind to not drink any tap water while I was down there because of everything that I was hearing about the tap water in St. Louis. And I got all the way through the weekend and didn't drink any tap water until I went to a breakfast, and I found out that they made the lemonade and the tea out of the tap water.
Okay.
And I could taste that terrible tap water. But I think, if I recall right, St. Louis, they have a evacuation going on in some part. I can't remember exactly what part of St. Louis, but it is due to radiation and waste getting in their water supply. So that's what I thought about when you named those cities. I heard you St. Louis, and I remember that specifically from the last time that I went down there. And really, I think, brother, to change the subject, Brother Talut really hit everything that I was thinking on the nail. Mm-hmm. While Brother Baruti was speaking, yes, those are the people that are supposed to, the people in Congress and in the government are the people who are supposed to speak for the people, but in actuality, that's not what we see. It is up to us, and Brother Talut was saying, it's up to us to solve our own problems, and so we really got to focus and focus on this idea of self-determination. We shouldn't allow, and we shouldn't be naive to think that the people who want to keep us down, whether that be the government, whether that be white supremacists or whoever you want to put in that category, we can't expect for those people to solve our problems in a way that's beneficial to us, because maybe our problems, the problems that we have, could possibly be the solutions to the problems that they have. So we got to take that into perspective when we're dealing with our enemies.
So when addressing your own issues, whoever the opposing force may be, I see you over there, caller. We're coming right to. Let me get Shay Renee in real quick. Shay Renee, Talut spoke to what I heard, a deficit in leadership in the African American community. And something has to be done, and that thing is what, Shay Renee? Use my microphone.
Our people have got to wake up. That's what has to be done. We're just walking around here asleep. I looked at the Super Tuesday, and Hillary Clinton won the majority and has the black vote, but yet Bernie Sanders was going to jail for us. So black people, we need to wake up, and we need to quit being duped by the lies that we are told by so-called leadership. And let me tell you, it's not leadership if your neighborhoods aren't changing, if your city isn't changing, if your neighborhoods aren't changing. That's not leadership, okay? That's just somebody in a position. And so if you don't see things changing in your neighborhood, you don't have a leader. So stop being duped by the lie. Just because they hold a position doesn't mean they're a leader. And that's my thoughts. Wake up.
All right, wake up. Caller.
Hello, our favorite caller.
Yes, sir. Brother Kazi here. Want to say amen to the sister that just spoke of leadership and the purpose of a lot of things. But I got only a couple of comments to make. I want to ask Joe one question. My comment is that let's say the umbrella of economic justice and community justice goes to, of course, environmental, water, pollution, and a lot of other issues. We could name them one by one, whether it's fluoride or any other materials, waste, junk, old tires. It all speaks to the issue of what shall a community, our community do. Our job, I see it, is to handle those issues through simple understanding. These are economic opportunities. We can do the testing, Brother Kibble, of the current lead poison generation, older and younger, and come to here, bring it local, here in Memphis, Tennessee. The numbers, let's validate them, let us do the testing, let us give the people the job. So I'm saying this basically for one point. When we go to the political authorities, whether it's city council or any level of political authority, what do we want them to do? The issue we need to decide right now. I'm saying, if we decide clean up our environment, and let us take those jobs, create those jobs, earmark those jobs for us. So, Kibble, I heard you say that you have put in for a grant, and I think that's wonderful. And the last point I want to make on this is that each problem is really an economic service to be provided by our community. When it comes to environmental cleanup.
Hey, Kazi, take 30 seconds and wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Let us do that. First, of course, I know what's on your mind. How are we going to fund it? But we ask whatever the powers be that we want to occupy the office or sit in the office, city council or whatever, let us be clear what we want. We want to put our people to work, back to work, solving this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kazi. Check.
Yes, and I'm glad to hear that. And what I want to say too is you can get in touch with me at gettheleadoutmemphis@gmail.com. What you just talked about, brothers, is what our goal is. We have a background in training people. We've done it before successfully in the lead abatement field. We actually train people how to become lead abatement contractors with the help of HUD, who gave them money and funding to set up their own company. And that's the goal that we have now. That's one of the key things that we put in our grant is that we want to teach some people how to be master inspectors. Recently, I was lucky enough to be selected by Labana to be in their training program, and they actually trained me how to be a master home environmentalist, train the trainer, which is the start of what I want to do on teaching our people how to be master inspectors, and also how to do the repairs and how to do the lead abatement. And you did hit the key. We want the work to be in our community. We want our people to be the ones who benefit from correcting the problem. And at the same time, while they're learning how to do the work, they're also going to share that information with their family. So therefore, the communications about the hazards that we're dealing with are going to be shared with family members. Okay, so that is one of our goals, and one of the key things that I'm going to try to work on, and hopefully by next Sunday, they can tell you it's been done. I'm going to try to get up a website, and we're going to actually put some things on there, but we do have some big meetings coming up to where we're telling people what we want. The only mayor we haven't met with yet is the city mayor. We met with the county mayor who supported us, told us to move forward. We didn't have to convince him. Again, I was there this weekend with EPA and Environmental Justice. They're coming here in April. They like what we're trying to do. The problem exists in a lot of cities, and we want to create some work.
Okay. We've got a call, but hold on, Carl. I want to come to Omar real quick. Omar, in terms of transitioning to smart meters, it is now 2:46. We're really up against the clock now. But say something, you said something. Say something about an initial move, an initial step relative to a movement. We're up against the clock. A step, a first step.
A first step would be for Brother Chet and others. And we need to have community groups coming together. CCT, the Umoja Foundation, the group that Chet Kibbles in. We need to have those groups coming together, 20, 30, coming together to support what he's doing, so that they won't think it's just one long group hollering in the dark. Come together and tell our city council representative, you represent us, and you're going to represent us effectively, not the corporation that's trying to kill us, trying to make the dollar bill off of us. Come together and let's put a petition together so we can let them know this is the voice of the people, and you're going to speak that voice, or you won't be around to speak to us at all.
Okay, to you right quick, Chet.
Yeah.
Chet. What does that take? Does that take a meeting? Does that take you initiating something relative to what Omar just said? And let's take a call.
Okay, what Omar just said is ideally what we got to do, and I've gotten some of the information last week, and we've actually added some of those groups together. We're going to have a meeting, a little short meeting, where we can talk about our movement and what we're going to do. But that's ideal, and that's what we've got to do. And then the presentation I did this week, and I'm going to pass some of these out, I had to do a presentation about Memphis. For our graduation coming up in May. And one of the people asked me is that, are you a lone soldier? Are you the only one talking about this program? Because I talked about the jobs that we're going to create. I talked about what's going on in Memphis. So, and that answer is that when they saw the back page on how many people were with me, then that changed the whole conversation. Oh, you got an army. So we've got to put that army together, and we've got to move forward.
I like the idea of the army. There's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Caller, take a minute, because we're going to get a piece, a rendition from Shay Renee. She's going to sing a song for us. Shall I announce the song?
Marvin Gaye, what's going on?
Come on, caller, take.
Hey, Brother Red, it's Brother Taylor.
Yes, sir, Brother Taylor.
What's going on now? How y'all, all you brothers and sisters doing?
All right.
All right, Brother Red, I've been talking to Brother Red about a vision that I have, and especially when it comes to our possible next presidential election. And the sister just said something in reference to about we need to wake up and look at what we are doing as black people. Well, I want to mention to you all that I'm looking forward to meeting you all next Sunday, as Brother Red has agreed.
Yes.
I want to come and not in for arguments or disagreements, but to bring about my true reasons why I'm going to support Donald Trump.
All right.
And I'm going to strongly go out and try to campaign for him, and why it is so dangerous for us to vote for Hillary Clinton.
Okay. Take 30 seconds, Brother Tatum, and wrap it up. And you're going to say something that we're going to hash out. We're going to debate. We're going to have a few words about immigration and Donald Trump. Is that right? And so we're going to call your presentation the Tatum Effect. Next Sunday, everybody, wow. Tatum will be here with us. We're going to call it the Tatum Effect.
Ain't no laughing matter, bro.
All right.
Yes,
Brother Tatum, he's quite a colorful individual.
Wow.
Come on, Shay Renee. Let's hear a piece. Are you going to stand? You have some music, or can you sit and sing right into the mic? Hey!
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, spark far too many of you dying. You know we got to find a way to bring some of that love in here today. Yeah, Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. War is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some of that love in here today. Yeah, picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? Ooh. Ay, 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 ay. Woo! Ay, 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 ay. Do 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 do. Father, Father, everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply 'cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find a way to bring some of that love in here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me for brutality. Come on, talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh. Ay, 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 ay. Do, 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 do.
Okay, we really have to move with the quickness now. We're down to 5 minutes, Omar. We didn't get to our famous West Tennessee prison interview. And it may be a little short on time. We were expecting a call from Al Hentral to talk more about the plastic bottles, Chet. And not all of them, we've got 7 minutes left. Not all of them, according to Al, are carcinogenic. Some of them perhaps, okay. So how do we tell the difference?
Well, to be honest with you, that part I'm not absolutely sure. I do know that EPA has addressed that issue, and that any of the water providers that get approved and get on the consumer list or approved by EPA, that is taken into consideration.
Okay.
Okay, so I just advise, and well, I'll try to get to you by next Sunday is a list of all the water water suppliers that's been approved by EPA or the Consumer Magazine.
Okay, so that is a start. That is one way to go.
Right.
And Omar, do you have any information on plastic bottles contained in terms of drinking water?
The research I've done shows that most of the bottles do not have the chemical in the plastic that are carcinogenic. EPA is doing a good job of screening those out. Right now, there are over 3,000 companies that make bottled water. And out of those companies that make bottled water, most of the water comes out of the tap. Then they purify it and put it in a bottle.
Okay.
So again, there's a lot out there to be researched, and there's more that we need to do on that. We can inform the people. If we can clean up Memphis water, we don't need a bottle of water.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to what we used to do, clean water at the tap.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
Of course, Coca-Cola won't like that, but you know.
but it's all about competition.
Yeah.
And also, Chet,
Yeah.
Talut, it's about competition, but it's also about courage. right? You're gonna compete with the big giants, and you're David. You got to make sure your shot is accurate.
Exactly.
You want to take him out.
And
Hopefully in one blow. Go ahead, Chad.
with the awareness that people have now, a lot of your water suppliers know that they have to put a good product on there, because you can be sued for selling somebody something they didn't say.
Okay.
So people do know to do that. One of the things I wanted to say about the smart meter, and there's a lot of pros and cons, but one of the things that we have to be realistic about, and that newspaper article showed it, Memphis has 2 zip codes that they studied that people are not going to live as long as other people, so they have illnesses. The smart meters will affect people that have ADD and ADHD. Now, one of the things that we don't accept, that we don't know, a lot of us don't know, that Memphis has an epidemic when it comes to ADD and ADHD. Grown people have it, but how many people you know got time to go get tested for that? Is 21, 22 years old, having trouble surviving. So they don't even know they're ADD and ADHD. Okay, and smart meters are not good for people with any of those kind of illnesses. So the thing that we need to look at when we talk to our city council, we have to accept where we are, what condition we in, and then we have to do things based on our city. And that's why we need to have some areas in our city that have 0 tolerance for lead and 0 tolerance for smart meters. So that's my thoughts on that.
Okay. African American issues are crucial. And Talut named just about every one of them. I'm almost sure that he named all of them. So, Chet, are you going to assemble a meeting by which we bring in the Love Power group and others?
Oh,
We're going to have flyers. We're going to have flyers,
right.
And perhaps we may have some flowers at some point.
As a matter of fact, I'm hoping to do that within the next 2 weeks. I want us to be really organized and ready to roll before EPA gets here.
Okay.
We've already been, so what we got to remember is that we've been working on this for 6 years now.
Okay.
Okay, so we didn't just start today.
Okay.
I mean, so the collaborative has done everything EPA has asked us to do. And step 7 is when you are successful and you show it to other cities. We on step 6. We're going to implement what we've designed. And those things we talked about, we come up with jobs, we come up with solutions, and these are things that we know we can do. So with just a little bit of help and the people from the community knowing what we're trying to do, that we can get that done. But yeah, we're going to move forward and we're going to put all the groups together.
Okay, I like that ready to roll part.
Yeah.
I like that part. So let's have final thoughts, starting with Omar. Final thoughts. We're really up against the clock now. We have 2 minutes to move quickly.
Right now we're in a war against the corporations of this country. And if we don't come together across racial barriers, economic barriers, ethnic barriers, we're not going to win. We must come together. But we got to come together in the house first. So I'm asking people who are listening to this broadcast to go and tell your friends that stay tuned in, because we're going to put a plan together so we can make this happen.
Okay. April.
My final thought is always pretty much the same, and that's to retrain your brain from all the poison that you've been taught, and to just start researching things for yourself and know that what we have is not for us until we decide to educate ourselves on what's for us and what's not. Then that's the only way we're going to be able to win. We got to come together and get educated on what's what.
Okay. So, and the way to retrain your brain is through education. And what was the other one you named? Retrain your brain through education. Oh, research.
Research.
She said, retrain your brain through education and research. Let's go to Lonnie, come this way, and check. Lift it up.
I just want to say to our supporters that support the Love Power Show, we appreciate your support. For those that tune in and continue to tune in.
Thank you, Lonnie. Talut, final thoughts.
Yes, we need to coalition with as many organizations as possible. And that coalition would be the voice for everyone. And I would like to mention that the 9th Congressional Committee of Tennessee and the Commission Against Senseless Killing will work with anybody who needs our assistance in moving forward in the community.
Well, let me ask you this. In terms of doing that, how would you get this assembled? Will you send out a call on Facebook, email? How would you do it?
Yeah, well, we would create a committee to do that kind of work for us.
Okay.
And they would touch base with all the marketing effort that we need to coalition, which is a big job.
Okay, so when we come back together at some point, will you have something to say about this?
Sure.
In fact, everybody at the panel, when we come back together, will everyone have something to say about what they've said today in terms of what needs to be done? Jeffrey?
Just once again, reiterate everything that the panelists have already said, and just strive for looking at problems. I think that a lot of the freedom and the benefits that we're going to have as a people is going to come from us realizing our problems, and like someone said here earlier, us coming up with the ways to solve our own problems. That's how we're going to put ourselves to work. And I just wanted to.
All right, thank you, Jeffrey. Now, some of our callers didn't call today. Some who called about the 911, some called about the smart meters. They didn't call today, but I understand people have other things to do, and sometimes perhaps they're just listening. And we thank you, and we hope you call again. I want to go to Shay Renette. Yeah, here you go, right here.
Change your community. You just need to, hey, be ready to do some hard work. It's going to take you.
Hard work, she said. We thank everyone for being here today and tuning in to the Love Power Show. Can we get just a little bit more of Willie Hutch, Isaac?
These shows, this is folks, and this is not there is no fake stuff.
Yes.